Okay, good afternoon. Today I am joined by Matt Janisin. Matt is the Vice President here at Gateway Technical College's Business and Workforce Solutions Division. Matt also has a long history with NC3. At its earliest years, he was an instructor, and he has continued on, and he's a great advocate for NC3 and the certifications that it provides to students and employers as well. So Matt, any general comments on Gateway, being named or winning the Dennis Iudice Memorial Award?
Yeah, I had the great pleasure of knowing Dennis. He was one of my first students when NC3 first began in the Train the Trainer series. But in all honesty, he was probably much more of a teacher to me than a student. He was a wealth of knowledge, and unfortunately, we lost him way too early in his life and career, as well as NC3's career. So it's a great pleasure to be awarded the award in his memory. And continue the great work that he saw so beneficial and important to America and our society and our students, to give them the opportunities to get out and get great careers and jobs through skilled training. So it's a great pleasure to honor his memory in this way.
Great. So, to begin with, how would you say that students benefit from earning, these NC3 certifications?
Yeah, when you look at two-year community and technical colleges, there's 1,200 of them across the country, and all the academic credentials, the diplomas, the degrees, and the certificates that we all contribute to our local communities, they're all very similar, and they're a very important and foundational piece to the student's resume. But yet, we want our students to differentiate themselves and have a leg up on the competition, as well as we're all local colleges. So in this case, Gateway's name may be important in Southeast Wisconsin, but how far does that credential travel? That could be debated. But when you start to look at NC3's industry certifications and the great historical names of industry partners like Snap-on and Train and Starrett and Greenlee and 3M that are involved with this, those credentials add an element to a student's resume that is very important, very recognized by industry, and make it much more transportable across the United States.
What are students' reactions, in the actual classrooms when instructors or when you had chatted about the certifications? What is their feedback to you and to instructors in general, would you say?
From an instructor standpoint, being able to get that in-depth, almost secret knowledge, and it's not that it was kept a secret on purpose. It was just, it just wasn't available because nobody knew it was so needed. But having industry experts partner with teachers to find out what are their needs, where are the gaps of knowledge, where can we go more in depth to give students and instructors a better understanding, has really increased everyone's game and overall breadth of knowledge in a variety of industry sectors. So this has really helped instructors up their game in the classroom, and then passing that knowledge on to the students, just allows them, again, to have a more robust resume and a lot more confidence when they're interviewing, to be able to speak to some of the hands-on and in-depth technical knowledge that they learned, not just part of the academic curriculum, but part of these aligned industry certifications that NC3 and their industry partners bring us.
I know you spoke a little, spoke to, what, how students benefit, if you will, from the certifications. Any thoughts on sort of the other side of that, and how, our industry and industry partners and those companies of which, these students graduate and take those certifications with them, how does business then, benefit from hiring students and workers with these certifications?
Well, the biggest technical education is making sure your curriculum is aligned to the demands and needs and skills that industry is hiring for. And as we know, with technology and just the way economics works today, business moves so fast. And historically speaking, education has had trouble moving as quickly and adapting to those new industry standards and new industry skill sets. And I think that's why NC3 came around at just the right time and has been so sustainable over the decade plus now, is they help meet that demand and role. The certifications that they offer, that they build with industry partners. So when you're working with a Snap-on or a Train or a 3M, those are titans in the industry. And even if you're working with some of their competitors' equipment and things like that, the foundational knowledge and the key pieces are so closely aligned that it just helps the overall industry increase its awareness and ability to gather that skilled workforce that's needed. So when we partner with NC3 and they continually update their certifications and curriculum that we then integrate into our existing academic programs, it's that continuous improvement process where our curriculum integrated into our academic programs are being updated as soon as industry updates it. Snap-on gets a new tool, they work with NC3, we get a new curriculum, our students get that new tool and updated curriculum. So now we have a much more integrated and seamless process for continuous improvement to make sure that students are truly aligned to what the industry leaders are asking for and the hiring managers are asking for when they're posting these new positions. And that's somewhat of a first, to have industry and education so aligned so closely in a very timely fashion.
Any thoughts? I know you had talked about integration into the classroom. What would be an example of that, would you say, that is being used at Gateway?
Yeah, so probably one of the best examples or most widespread would be multimeter. Electricity and electronics is obviously part of our daily life in almost every industry out there now. So somewhere in most programs, you're going to have some type of an electrical 1 class. Name might be a little different, but for all intents and purposes, it's going to be that intro to electrical. In that class, it's tough to teach and do anything with electricity if you can't measure it and see it and be able to make some informative decisions about it. So you're going to have to learn how to use a multimeter. That was a skill that was always being taught, and it was somewhat always integrated into those entry-level electrical classes, but it was never done in a very efficient, cohesive manner. Snap-on's multimeter certification now allowed an instructor to have 20 of the same multimeter, not a variety of multimeters, 20 of the same multimeter with a standardized curriculum now taught across the country to make sure that the student knows every single feature and benefit of that tool. Not 50% of it, not just 2 or 3 of the buttons or the settings, all of the buttons, all of the settings, all of the features, all of the efficiencies in a way that's now deliverable in the classroom. So we utilize that in our electrical engineering program, in their intro to electronics class. We utilize that in our HVAC program, our automotive program, our diesel program, and we're looking at implementing into other areas like industrial maintenance or anywhere where there may be a need for multimeter training. You're probably already doing it. Here's a more compact, easy way to just put it right into your existing curriculum that gives your students the added benefit of not just a quiz that you come up with, but now an online certification test that earns them a certificate from Snap-on in addition to credit in your academic class.
Great. So again, today I've been joined by Dr. Matt Janisin. He is the Vice President of our Business and Workforce Solutions here at Gateway Technical College. And we've just recently here at the college been awarded with the Dennis Iudice, I wanted to make sure I said that right, Dennis Iudice Memorial Award. Thanks for your time today, Dr. Janisin.
Thank you, Lee. It's been a pleasure.